Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. I think it's safe to say Warzone has a very big reality check coming up here. Some in a literal sense, but also in a figurative sense as well. I mean, like, we're gonna actually see, will Warzone keep it realistic when we see the major Black Ops 7 Warzone integration update? This, of course, is the first time in the history of Warzone we're really going into the future a decent bit, with Black Ops 7 being set in 2035. We've obviously gone back to the Gulf War and everything going on with Black Ops 6. We've gone back to Black Ops Cold War as well. So we've been in the past in Warzone before. We've also been in, Caldera, where, we had Kong and Godzilla running around as well. The future, though, is very different. This is uncharted territory for Warzone, so there's a lot coming up here that is going to be very interesting. Some red flags potentially as well. Also some opportunity for some cool things. The big thing here, though, is that while we have a lot of information on Black Ops 7 multiplayer, a decent bit of information on the Black Ops 7 campaign, a decent bit of info on Black Ops 7 zombies, we know nothing about the Black Ops 7 Warzone integration, with the exception of one apparent leak from the Ghost of Hope saying that apparently Liberty Falls in the area surrounding the zombies map there is what's going to be used for a resurgence map with the Season 1 integration for Black Ops 7 and Warzone, which just seems very odd. We'll talk more on that later on into the video, but the Black Ops 7 Warzone integration is a mystery, and if it's going to function like the previous integration updates have, well, then we're talking about potentially a situation where we have wall jumping in Warzone, where we have a lot of this futuristic stuff in Warzone, potentially grapple hooks there, as that's a feature in Black Ops 7 as well. Like, there's a lot of things that it's like, okay, this works in Black Ops 7, like this is a Call of Duty multiplayer experience. Whether or not you agree with it or disagree with it, you like it, you don't like it, that's up to you. But when you compare that to Warzone and what the impact would be if it was there, it doesn't necessarily all work. Maybe some of it could. Some of it also seems a little bit out there for what we've come to know about Warzone. This, of course, following up a year here in Black Ops 6 Warzone, where Raven Software has done the most it has ever done, really, to separate Warzone some from the main game. You guys may recall that when the Verdansk update happened and they really tried to go back to the core roots of Warzone gameplay, they specifically said, hey, we're changing up movement, so it's going to be a little bit different from Black Ops 6 multiplayer. We're going to tone it down some, make it a little bit more classic there. Not as spammy, not as arcadey as what's going on in multiplayer. So is that something that's going to continue forward? Are they going to continue to separate out Warzone even more in Black Ops 7? Keep in mind, going into this year, unfortunately, we are still in the situation where Warzone is not fully standalone. It's not a fully separate thing. I have been saying this for years and years, as have multiple other people here on YouTube, thousands of people just as players in general, saying, if Warzone was a standalone title, so many problems with this game that do exist probably wouldn't. The interconnectedness is good for some things for sure here within Warzone. The ability to cross level everything with multiplayer, the shared progression, like stuff like that is solid. You also have issues where they update something in multiplayer and it breaks something for Warzone, or vice versa. There's downloads that are required for multiplayer impact Warzone, vice versa. Like, it just being connected is not helpful in a lot of ways, can oftentimes be the source of so many problems, and a standalone title should have been done a long time ago. If it's going to happen, it's probably going to be with Modern Warfare 4 and the hard reset on tech then, because of course we are also still supporting last gen with Warzone here coming up as well, which means presumably, according to the Ghost of Hope as well, with the tech involved that maintains last gen support, we can't even have big map rotation in Warzone, despite the fact that the file size is consistently being optimized year over year to maintain a smaller footprint on your hard drive. The tech behind it, for whatever reason, COD says can't support having Verdansk and, let's say, for instance, Avalon, which would be the best way to go about it, or Verdansk and Urzikstan, or Verdansk and Al Mazrah, at least up until this point. Now, there's a chance that maybe they do come up with a solution here. I mean, we've seen it work for Resurgence. If they can somehow fiddle with enough things behind the scenes to optimize large maps, maybe there's a chance we could see big map rotation, and I think that would go a long way. But that's just another thing stacking on top of, I don't know, am I already like 5 minutes into this video? The amount of things I've listed that's like, oh, that's concerning. Are we going to have a one-to-one correlation with movement, and the integration is going to be a futuristic version of Verdansk? What are we going to see for content? What are we going to see for tech support? Like, all these things stacking up and up and up, standalone versus not. Warzone is not getting less problematic as it stands right now. If anything, potentially with Black Ops 7, it could be becoming, is that the right way to phrase that, more problematic, because not only are we going to have the MW2 guns in there, the MW3 guns in there, the Black Ops 6 guns in there, now the Black Ops 7 guns as well. This is going to be the most content that we've ever had in Warzone, which some people may view as a W because you're going to have a ton of stuff to pick and choose from. That may also be extremely overwhelming for some players, but that's also more content and more stuff than ever the devs have to monitor. And they've already been so heavy on the fact that bloat is a dangerous thing for the game, dating back to Caldera. That's why we had the hard reset surprise out of nowhere. Hey, we're not going to carry forward anyone's content into Warzone 2. We're going to delete it all, actually, and that caused a huge uproar at the time. It was because of bloat. It was because there was too much going on in the game. And now they make Warzone 2. They say, okay, this is going to be better to handle future updates, better to handle integrations. We've now seen multiple integrations come and go, and they've all been broken still to very similar degrees of Warzone 1. So some of that maybe not have fully paid off, but this is going to be more bloat than ever before. 4 games worth of content in a Warzone integration that up until this point, we've basically heard next to nothing about. And what we have heard is reused zombies assets. Now, this again, a little bit of a red flag. If Liberty Falls is the planned content for this and it's just simply another resurgence map going into a major integration update, we're now going on 2 years in a row where we see a major integration and it's just a resurgence map. This happened back with Black Ops 6, where we got reverted back to the original version of Urzikstan, which I still say is a massive mistake. They made all these updates to it throughout MW3 Warzone, and then for Black Ops 6 said, oh, all those updates that happened, no, we're going back to the day one version of the map, which was not as good as the final product was, you know, through like season 6 of MW3. And then we get Area 99, which was a complete flop, and that did not sit well with players at all. So that killed any and all hype for the Black Ops 6 Warzone integration. Now we're going into this next one where we assume Verdansk is going to stick around. It's too risky to remove Verdansk again. But they've also missed a massive opportunity with Verdansk. It brought back so much hype in season 3, and then they just let that hype dwindle down and disappear and plateau because, okay, yeah, we got a POI update to downtown with the overlook. I think that's a cool update. We got the opening of the stadium again in the most ridiculous way possible. But the continued support of Warzone, the ability to add depth to gameplay post Verdansk to make it similar to what we had back in Warzone 1, where there was intel missions. It felt like the map was alive, the world was alive, gameplay was like this really immersive thing. It's not there now. So they've really missed an opportunity with Verdansk. If it's just going to stick around and not really see much support going into Black Ops 7 Warzone, okay, that's going to kill hype going into this integration update. And again, if it's just a resurgence map and that's the whole thing, you're kind of excluding Battle Royale, the core of Warzone, from being, a major feature in the integration update. You're almost repeating a cycle from last year that did not go over very well. So this reality check that's upcoming is incredibly important for Warzone. I think for a lot of people, this is going to be a sort of last straw kind of thing, and they have to nail this because right around the corner, we've got the Battlefield 6 Battle Royale coming up, which based off the leaks that we've covered about that here on the channel, it's got potential. It looks very interesting and has a lot of similar things to Warzone that can be very attractive for a more casual Warzone base to go, you know what, actually, that seems like it's more of my jam. And that could be a really big threat, especially since it is free to play, to Warzone here. So this is not an integration update they can fumble. And this reality check coming up, how serious are you taking the Black Ops 7 lore and narrative in Warzone? How much are you going to try and differentiate the two games? What are you going to do for tech support to actually sustain content and hopefully thoroughly update it throughout the seasons rather than this year where it just kind of exists and we see like minimal stuff change season over season? What's the plan here? Hopefully Call of Duty Next is going to address a lot of these concerns and give us a lot more insight into what to expect, and it definitely will. Like, obviously there's going to be the full-on Warzone reveal there, but just knowing so little going into this update and it being so important for the Warzone timeline, at least for the next year, I imagine MW4 coming around in 2026 is going to bring some much needed revitalization and a little bit of juice to the franchise. Hopefully, knock on wood, especially with Warzone there, kind of maybe hopefully going back to some of the classic days fully, but that's a ways out. We still have a whole year of COD to go before we hit that point. So this is a vital year for COD. This is a vital integration update. Some chances to course correct, but also the potential opportunity to fumble yet again, which could be just truly detrimental to Warzone as it stands. But hey, we'll find out more here pretty soon. Obviously, as we get new leaks, rumors, official announcements about this Warzone integration, I'll be sure to keep you guys up to date. So feel free to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications. And if you enjoyed this video, a like rating on your way out would be seriously appreciated as well. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy. Have an awesome rest of your day. And I'll catch you later. Peace out.